Welcome to Hytale. We're going to build Rivendell. So we're going to do a little bit of a magic trick with this. It's going to look like a complete build from the specific angle that we're building it from, but this is just for me to kind of get a taste for what these tools and blocks can do in the game. This is my first large-scale build in Hytale. There's not going to be actual depth to it. It's not going to be a set that you can walk around, and it's not going to be exactly like, block for block, detail for detail, Rivendell from the Lord of the Rings movies. It's just going to be a facade that when you're looking at it looks like not just the buildings of Rivendell, but the entire valley itself. I'll walk you through what I mean as we go through this process. I'm going to begin by just placing down some mountains. I'm getting a hang for these mountain tools. I want these big sweeping cliffs because the Valley of Enladris, it's got these high cliffs with forests atop them and waterfalls pooling down them. I also have an idea for the waterfalls because I don't think I want to use the actual in-game water. And as I was building this, I really found these tools honestly really relaxing. It was incredibly soothing to build like this. Sometimes there's a little bit of tedium that crops in when you're doing something on such a large scale like this. I've done quite a few Minecraft builds on a large scale, but I didn't find that tedium here. I found it really, really relaxing, and I love the tools that they have so far. Some of them, admittedly, are a little bit buggy, and there were a few times where I had to reload the game because the tools just stopped working after I tweaked too many settings, but I'm sure that will improve later on. Now, what I am doing here, though, is that I've set up a sort of pillar to remind myself of where my viewpoint is. So this is just so I can remember the perspective that I want everything to line up with, because if I don't maintain a steady perspective, everything is going to look really, really messy in this really, really quickly. So perspective is incredibly important, which brings me to this. Hytale devs, if you're watching this, can we please have some sort of tripod function in creative mode where you can set up an alternate camera position where with the click of a button, I can just switch my viewpoint position to that tripod so I can look at the build from a steady point of view, so that I'm not just trying to remember exactly where I am or having to fly all the way back to where I was before. I can just, boom, snap, I'm there. That would be absolutely fantastic. We're going in here with quite a few tools. The deleting of blocks honestly took me a little while to figure out, but it's just an alternate function for most of these brushes where you can either place with them or you can delete with them. You can change the shapes, you can change the blocks that you are building with. So I've got these kind of chalky cliffs here that I'm going to add in some brown rock material to as well. So we'll have a little green, a little white, a little brown. I think it'll look absolutely fantastic all together. So I'm building up these series of cliff faces. And so this is to create the illusion of depth and grandeur here. I'm not going to flesh out an entire valley because even with these incredible tools, that is going to take me a very, very long time. Instead, what I'm going to do is create these multiple cliff faces that when you're lined up properly, create the illusion of a complete valley. We're going to have trees on top of them, we're going to have waterfalls cascading down them, and all of that together is going to make it look like a complete set that you could just step right into. Of course, if we made a complete set, we would be here for years. But nonetheless, this is going to look absolutely beautiful. Once the landscape is done, I went in and I added these buildings. They are loose facades, and I just basically put down the shapes of them first, and then I went back through and I added some more detailed blocks and some more colors to them, because Rivendell, the way that the movies are edited, washes it out to be almost just a flat white color, but in reality, those buildings are full of a whole range of different pastel colors that when you're looking at it from a distance, it blends into just this pale, beautiful color palette, which is exactly what I'm trying to do here as well. Once the buildings were good enough, I went in and I added this water. So to do this, I'm using a low density brush. That means that some of the blocks that it's quote unquote placing are just air. So it's not covering every single area that I select, it's just adding a smattering of blocks in, which I think suits the water very well. We're adding in some whites, we're adding in some blues, and a bunch of different shapes of blocks here. Now, if you were up close and personal with this, it would look ridiculous, but looking at it from this consistent viewpoint that we've set up, this is going to create a really nice illusion of cascading water, and with the fog effect that is already here in this world, it's going to look like that water is puffing up all these little, clouds of vapors and water droplets as it cascades. On top of all of these cliffs, we're adding in a bunch of tree prefabs. I just pulled these out of the creative tools. These are not trees that I built or copy pasted myself. These are just prefabs already available for you in the game. And with all of that done, a few more details added, and we are finished. And this is the finished product. Let's get a good view here. There we go. That's the frame right there. That's the frame. Hello, Rivendell. So here's the thing though, is that as soon as you leave this frame, the illusion breaks. It is a facade. It is entirely a facade. Let's speed up the flying here a little bit. This is what it looks like from the back. It's entirely a facade. And there's some parts here that like it makes a little bit more sense how they work. Like they're just lined up in order to give you the illusion of depth, of mountains fading into the distance. And the same thing here, right? These are all disparate chunks, but then you line yourself up over here and they all align together like that, fitting together like puzzle pieces. Same thing over here, disparate chunks, line them up, boom, puzzle pieces. The builds are a little bit interesting. I didn't record much of this process because honestly, it was incredibly tedious. I probably could have put more detail into them, but I think that would be better suited for a build where the actual buildings are the focus. Because like, look at this, like this building right here that's right in front of me, move to the side, and this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This one might be the most quote-unquote complete looking one. There's still nothing inside it. It's not functional at all, but like it's the most solidly built. And this one over here is also just a complete facade. It's whatever the camera was pointing at. These ones here are super weird. These arches, I just wanted them to look kind of like latticed, but because you can't really make out the details of the blocks back here, the way I did that was a complete mess of things. Like this is what it looks like up close, okay? Let's slow ourselves down again. You don't want to be living in a place that looks like this. It's ugly as hell, but it doesn't matter that it's ugly up close because we're not living in it. We are working on it from this angle. I am incredibly happy with this. I'm also really happy with the water. I think that that worked out so well. So I used one of those brushes like I described, and there's crystals, there's banners, there's beams and blocks. But the current water in game, I didn't think that it would look super good with this. I think that this looks better as like the illusion of water than actual water. It's all a big magic trick, really. You look at it from this and you're like, oh yeah, that's Rivendell from Lord of the Rings. And then you look at it from really any other position and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, this makes a great screenshot too. Taking that screenshot as well. It's all a big illusion, but it works. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, then do consider subscribing. Not only do I have these building videos up on here right now, but we also have lore videos that are on the second channel if you're interested in the story that the game is slowly building, and we're on the Cursebreaker SMP that we will be uploading videos currently just onto the VOD channel, but they will eventually make their way here, maybe once machinima tools get updated in Hytale. But let me know if there's anything that you would like to see me build next. I am particularly fond of fantasy builds. I was thinking maybe some other Lord of the Rings or potentially Game of Thrones builds. We'll see. We'll see what looks fun. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, a little share, subscribe, and so on, and I will see you in the next video. Happy hightailing, you guys.